Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome back to the news. The Minister of the FCT, Wike, faults the European Union report on the 2023 general elections. Before now, the European Union had dropped its report, on the 2023 elections, on what went wrong, and also cautioned INEC in case of future elections. But you see, the presidency, the APC, they all faulted the EU's report on the 2023 general elections, saying that they don't know, what they are saying. And you can recall that the EU, in their reports, they had identified key areas in which they want INEC to improve on, in future elections. So they said that violence had marred the election, voter suppression, voter intimidation, that the election lacked transparency. And also in their assessment, they said that there was absence of transparency in the electoral process, and there was also violence and a lot of manipulations, But then the presidency, the APC, and others, they said that they don't know what they are saying. I mean, that's not, all those things that transpired according to the EU never happened. So a lot of people have, said that the 2023 general elections, most especially the presidential election, was not free, was not fair. But the APC has always noted that the general elections was free, it was fair, and in fact, it was the most best organized general election in Nigeria since 1999. While others have claimed that it was the worst election since 1999, since we started conducting elections in Nigeria. But you see, we have Wike, who is the Minister of the FCT and has faulted, the EU's reports. Now, my country people, let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. In June, the European Union presented its report about the elections and gave 6 areas to work on, including ensuring the real-time publication and access to the election results. But on Monday, Wike said the report did not give the true position of the last election held in the country and had sincerely disagreed with the European Union on their stand about the past election in Nigeria, and has also said that, there is no way they can interfere in the electoral process of Nigeria, that the only thing that the European Union can do is to observe and to make recommendations, that there is no need for them to interfere in Nigeria's electoral process. So he said this interference, is not really necessary and it is not acceptable. He said this when the EU ambassador to Nigeria, visited him in his Abuja office. And in fact, he said, I was surprised in Rivers State, because how many of you were in Rivers State to visit about the 6,886 polling units? So how come you guys are so sure of, the irregularities you guys claimed went wrong or went on at the elections? So according to Wike, while maintaining that the union was supposed to play a role like an observer, they ought to play an observer role, and has urged them to respect the country's laws, and has said that the laws of Nigeria cannot be a replica of the laws of their own country. But then, my country people, responding, Isopi said that the report was done by independent observers and do not work under her. She, however, maintained that the European Union is committed to working with Wike for the development of the FCT. Guys, this is actually interesting. Minister Wike, as we all know, is the minister of the FCT and works for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. According to Wike, he doesn't work for the APC, but he works for Tinubu himself. So, I mean, this kind of statement coming from Wike is not, surprising. As expected, Wike is ought to make, such a statement, whereby majority of Nigerians had condemned the 2023 general elections. A lot of citizens had demonstrated their, discontent, especially with INEC. INEC had promised heaven and earth. INEC had promised transparency. INEC had promised accountability by the inclusion of the BVAS machines. And they also said they will upload the results online. They will transmit the results online and all of that. But at last, INEC did not, go with what they told Nigerians. And a lot of things also contributed that really flawed the electoral process. We saw all kinds of violence, both in Lagos, in other states in the nation. And thuggery, ballot box snatching, people were injured. And it really discouraged some people to participate. We really saw a lot of voter suppression, which really led to, low turnout in some parts of Nigeria, whereby a lot of people were threatened not to come out to vote if they are not ready to vote for a particular party. And we also saw the misuse of state resources, vote buying, was included. And then INEC officials refused to upload the results. The BVAS, they refused to upload the results online. When it got to the time of uploading results, most of the INEC officials were saying, oh, they couldn't upload online. And this really, angered most Nigerians. But then what can we do? So the election lacked transparency. We ought to have used the BVAS, the IV machine and all of that, but we didn't anymore. So the election observers had observed that all these things went on during the 2023 presidential election, but then the camp of the APC, the presidency, had refused to admit all these things transpired. And Wike is also saying it is not acceptable, for the EU to fault the 2023 general elections in Nigeria. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comments section. Thank you.